So once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have guests with us today from Freddie Mac who are going to share a little bit about DPA One solution. So I'm going to be quiet today and actually even go off camera. And I'm going to let Scott kick us off and introduce his colleagues. So thank you guys for joining and welcome.
Thank you, Brooke. Scott Kudos from Freddie Mac. I am responsible for business development for our DPA One project. Specifically, I'm charged with gathering local and municipal HFAs into our program. I'd like to introduce my two colleagues, Sandeep and Erwin. They'll be giving a demo a little later, but for now, I just wanted to introduce you to our program. I'll try and pause throughout this program. We're going to, the layout is I'm going to go through this PowerPoint. Then Sandeep is going to give us a demo, and then there'll be Q&A. And I'll try and pause periodically through my talk to allow you for questions and answers. So the DPA One solution from Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac is about to launch a nationwide solution that will allow housing counselors, loan officers, and lending officers, and DPA providers instant access to local, regional, and state DPA programs. We've created a program that will allow you as a DPA provider or lending officers or loan officers to get into this solution and access all of the DPA programs. Part of the Freddie Mac was created in the 1970s, and part of our charter is to provide low and middle income and first-time home buyers with solutions to help them ease of entry into the housing market. There's a lot of barriers, as I know you know, in the positions that you're in to entry into the housing market, especially for first-time home buyers who may not have credit or may not have the down payment they need. So we've really, one of the solutions that we've created is what we call DPA One, Down Payment Assistance One. And this solution, again, is going to be a nationwide rollout. We're starting with Minnesota as one of our first states we're rolling this out to. But the whole idea here is, again, right now there is no one place to find down payment assistance. You have to really search for it. And most home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, don't even know if there is such a thing as down payment assistance. They just know they have to have a down payment, and they typically struggle with that. So why did we see the need for this? Well, I've tried to explain much of that already, but there's a lot of challenges in utilizing DPA programs as they currently exist. The lender finds it frustrating, and just understanding and using approved DPA programs can be costly, confusing, and time-consuming. There's a lot of information out there, but there's no one resource right now to capture all of the DPA solutions that are available to first-time or any home buyer. The DPA providers, such as the people on this call, find there's a big disparity between the providers' communication formats and the requirements for create confusion with loan officers and encumbers understaffed DPA programs with time-consuming questions and costly application errors. In other words, it's from both sides of it, whether you're a lender or a provider, there's a lot of confusion. There's no centralized resource. It's very complex. The current field is very complex. There's over 2,500 active DPA programs that exist throughout the United States. Almost every state, I think there's 47 states that have down payment assistance. And of those, there's anywhere from 2 to 45, 50, 60 municipals within each state that have down payment assistance programs. So that's where the complexity comes in. And really, at the heart of this is, the core is one of our most cited issues related to mortgage readiness for first-time homebuyers is the lack of down payment funds. We find down payment, first-time homebuyers have the credit score, they probably have the finance, so they have the credit score that they can get a mortgage. They have the financial ability, they're making enough money to get a mortgage, but they don't have the down payment assistance. As an example, my daughter recently bought a house in Nashville, Tennessee, and she went through a Freddie Mac approved provider. Well, when I told her about this program, this was after she already bought the house, she said, "Dad, this is incredible. If I'd have known about this, I'd have definitely looked into it." Again, most first-time home buyers don't know about down payment assistance, or even the fact that there are mortgage counseling agencies available. From the lending and loan officer side, we are trying to create a program that will quickly let them understand and match the best DPA programs to their borrowers, giving loan officers all the DPA program information they need in one place when they need it most. So we're coordinating this and consolidating this for the loan officers so they can quickly and easily find a DPA program for their first-time home buyers or their home buyers in general. For the DPA provider side, we're helping the DPA program providers reduce submission errors and program requirement questions from lenders by giving the DPA program providers a single standardized insight-rich place to manage all their DPA program information. In other words, we're going to reduce your costs for you, which will be significant. So you're not going to have to worry about lenders coming in and not understanding your program, because they'll have one source to access all the information that you can provide. And the beauty of it is, as you go through your programs, you're going to run out of funds, you're maybe activate a program. We can do all this for you. We can archive your program, we can activate your program. So it's a very dynamic, fluid program that we're developing. Are there questions so far? All right.
Scott, this is Erwin. Can I just very quickly, I'm sorry, I was slow to the mute. I just want to one point of clarification, just very fast for the group. Right now, the focus, everything that Scott was said was spot on. Just want to clarify that for right now, it's really focused on DPA providers and loan officers. We're not giving consumers access to DPA 1 at this point. But thank you, Scott.
Sure. Thank you, Erwin. I'm glad you mentioned that, because here's our long-term roadmap. There's a lot of information on this page, but as Erwin was pointing out, in 2023, Freddie Mac will be rolling this out to DPA providers throughout the country at the state level and at the municipal level. In 2024, we'll start rolling it out to loan officers and lending officers. And by 2025, we actually hope to start making this available to home buyers. So how do we become part of a community? How can we help make DPA 1 available and free to everyone? This is a free program. I must emphasize that there is no charge, there's no cost to you as either as a DPA provider or a loan officer or lending institution. There's no charge to you. There's not even going to be any charge to the home buyer ultimately. It's a single license agreement to become part of the community. You create your program information in DPA 1. You keep your program information updated in DPA 1, and you also give us feedback on the DPA 1 program and solution. We hope you'll refer DPA 1 to your lenders and DPA providers that exist within your municipality. And finally, help us spread the word about DPA 1 within your own community. Very simple. The terms and conditions are a one-pager. For most of the people on this call, it will be simply a survey monkey that we send out, much like accepting the cookies on when you go on the website, you accept cookies. That's all you have to do to be part of this program, is to accept the terms and conditions. You click yes, I accept. Very simple terms and conditions. These are Freddie Mac's terms and conditions. And once you're in there and you've accepted, we'll then work on providing you a user ID and a password for our solution. Questions? Excuse me. All right, if not, I am going to shut up for now. I'm going to turn this over to Sandeep, my colleague, and she will give us the demo.
So Scott, before I do the demo, can you go back to the vision, the value proposition slide, please?
Sure.
Before I get into the demo, I just want to set the landscape a little bit so we can understand what I'm going to be showing. Thank you. So as Scott mentioned, DPA 1 is a two-sided platform. This is like Uber, Airbnb, where you have loan officers, lenders on one side, and you have the DPA providers on one side. So just looking at the value proposition, as a lender, the value proposition of DPA 1 is we help loan officers quickly find, understand, and match the best DPA program for their borrowers by giving loan officers all the DPA program information they need in one place right when they need it the most. So that's what the loan officers are getting when they come to DPA 1. And I will show you that the loan officer experience. Then for you all as a DPA provider, DPA 1 offers a platform that reduces submission errors, program requirement questions from lenders by giving DPA program providers a single standardized insight-rich place to manage all DPA program information. So when I show you the platform, you will see how the DPA providers all of you can come in, you can look at only your programs, you can update your programs, and all of them are in a standard format. So they're easy to manage. They're easy to manage for you all, and then for the loan officers, it's easy to consume information. So I'm going to share my screen and do the demo. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Okay, share my screen. Okay. So when the DPA providers, folks like you, will log into DPA1, this is the screen that you're going to be logging into, and this is your landing page. And this is the My Programs page. This program will show you all the programs that are available for your agency and that are published for your agency. These are the programs that will be active, and the loan officers who are looking for a program, they will be able to see this version of the program. So what we've done here is we've given you these 4 tabs. The first one is the Published tab, where you have all the active programs or the published programs. Then you have the Schedule tab. This is where if you want to schedule a program to be published at a future time, you can make updates to the program and schedule it for a future date. So if I'm a DPA provider and I want the published program to go live on Monday, I can make the changes today. I can put the date as Monday for publishing the program, and I can schedule it. So Monday morning, our batch job will run, and it'll pick up that program and it'll mark it as published. So Monday at 10 a.m., if a loan officer is searching for a program, they'll see that published version. Then we have the Drafts tab, and this is where when we're updating any published program, that becomes a draft, and then you can look at the draft, update the draft, save, and then publish that draft, and that becomes the published version. And then the last section we have, the last tab, is the Archive tab, and this is for programs that you want to archive for whatever reason it may be. It can be if the program runs out of funding, you can archive it for some time, and then January you get new funding, you can bring it back to Draft tab, update it, and you can publish it again. Or if the program is completely shut down, we want to archive it, you can go ahead and archive it for as long as you want. So those are the 4 tabs we have. Now, what we are doing right now, we have data analysts that are going into the provider's website and getting the down payment assistance program information, and they're putting it into DPA1. So what you see here is data that our data analysts are putting into DPA1. And when Scott works with you all and gets you access to DPA1, when you log in, you will be able to come in here and you will be able to update your program as you feel necessary, save it, and then you can publish it. I'll show you how easy it's going to be for you to just go in and edit your program. You can go into the Draft tab and click on this button. This is the Edit button. And this is where you see the program in an editable format. And what we've done is we've added these metro stops on the top that makes it very easy for you to go to the various sections in the program. So you have overview, participating lenders, eligibility requirements, program features, provider information, and then at the last, imported documents. And I'll talk about that when we come down to that section. Program information, the name probably you won't have to change because this is something that stays consistent. Then you have the overview section where this is a summary of the program. And if you want to make any changes to this, you can make any updates. Then we have the participating lender section. And this is the section that where you can add the list of all your participating lenders. And some of the agencies have a list of participating lenders, some don't have it. If you don't have a list, then you don't have to worry about it. You can leave this section empty. If you have a list, you have the ability to add it as an attachment. You can get a file from your desktop and you can attach that here, and that will populate a list of all the participating lenders for you. Then we have the eligibility requirement section, and this is the where, just give me 1 second. I'm going to just close my, sorry. Okay, so this is the eligibility requirement section where you have the first time home buyer requirement first. This is where you can say if this program is for only first-time home buyers, if this program is for first-time home buyers, but there is some exception, or it is not for first-time home buyers and it is for everybody. You can add that here. Then you have the DPA borrow contribution. And here also we've given you the ability to enter it as an amount, or you can add it as a description or a percentage. And then this one, you have the ability to say no if you don't have a DPA borrow contribution requirement for the program. And then that's the next section. And now this eligibility parameter section is the important section for the program, because this is what decides how your income limit grid, purchase price limit grid, and credit score grid are going to show your eligibility parameters for the program. So whatever you choose here is going to reflect in that grids at the bottom. So for example, you're going to select the state that this program is for. Then you can add any first mortgage products that you need for this program. And we've given you ability to create custom products, or you can create your own products and you can give it your own name. So here, these are the, for the custom products, you can create it as whatever you wish to name it. And then for the standard products, we've given you the list of products. You can select the product and it will populate the first mortgage type automatically. So Home Possible is a Freddie product, so it will populate it there. And then you can add as many products as you wish to do so, and it'll show up in your grid down below. Then you have household size. And this is the section where you're going to set up what are the different household sizes that you need in your eligibility requirements. So here we've given you 3 options. You have the ability to choose the household sizes, a household size of 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, or it can be a range, a household size of 1 to 3 people, or you have the ability to choose greater than equal to a certain number. So it can be a household size of greater than equal to 5 people. So those are that's how you set up the household sizes for the grid below. And then for the local municipal, majority of the time, you don't have the grids broken down by targeted, non-targeted sections. But if you have a need, this is where you can separate your income limit grid, purchase price limit grid into targeted and non-targeted sections. So if you don't have that, you can just leave it as no, and you don't need to make any changes. And again, majority of these changes you will not have to do because our data analysts have already done all of this for you. You will just have to review it. And if there are any changes, you can make it. Otherwise, you just have to review and move forward with it. Any questions so far? Okay, moving on to the location section. This is where you are going to decide if your program is laid out by counties, cities, neighborhoods, or it has both counties and cities. And that can be decided if you select counties, all of these counties will automatically be populated in this grid below. And the same thing, if you have counties and cities, it'll have counties and all the cities under it will be listed here as well. And then coming to these 3 grids, you have the income limit grid, where you can have all of this county information based on whatever you selected on the top. The first mortgage products that you selected on the top will show up here also. And then your first mortgage type, whatever has been decided or you've set it up on the top, will show up here. And then based on your household size, you will see this 1 to 2 occupants, 3+ occupants, whatever limits you've set up, that will show up as the columns. Then at the bottom is where you're going to be making changes if you're changing the limits for any of these programs. So if these are AG grids and these really easy for you to use, you can copy, paste data, and it's easy for you to get the data, copy it from Excel, paste it here. You can even export data from this grid. So if you create this grid, you can export, and you can export it as a CSV or Excel, and then you can put it in another your website. You can put it in, if you're maintaining an Excel spreadsheet, you can put it there. Same thing for the purchase price limit grid. It's very easy for you to maintain. It's like Excel, so you can copy multiple columns and paste them at the bottom. And it's very easy to copy and paste all of this stuff. Again, you can export using the CSV or Excel format or any of the things here. And then the third grid you have is the credit score grid. which is, again, your first mortgage products and types will show up here. And then you can update the minimum credit score, maximum DTI, LTV, TLTV information here. And then if there are any property type restrictions for your program, you can add that here too. So any questions so far? And this is the meat and potatoes of this whole application. This grid: income limits, purchase price limit, and credit score. Any questions on this? And I'm sorry, I cannot see the chat. No questions so far. Okay, perfect. Moving forward. Then you have the program feature section, and this section is where you're going to see anything that is pertaining to your program. So if it's a loan, what is the maximum lien position that is allowed by you all for the program, the DPA repayment structure, and this is all information that will be populated in this program detail for you. You again have to just review it, and you can update it. Then you have the first mortgage loan purpose, what types are there, who is the program servicer, and again, you can change it if you think there needs to be a change here, and all of these fields here. Again, just review it, update it if you need. And then the provider information section. This is where you're going to give the information of the POC that you want on this program, and then the name of the person, their email address, and your website. And at the bottom, we have this imported document section. And this is a section that we are still working on. And the ability, the feature for this, the imported documents feature will provide you the ability to attach a document and for the loan officers to be able to see that document. So one of the questions that we keep getting from both the providers and loan officers is that, okay, how do we become a participating lender for a DPA provider? So what you can do is you can attach those instructions here, and then the loan officer has the ability to go in and see those steps, and then they can go to your website and follow along whatever the requirements are on that document. So any questions on this thing? So this is your provider experience. Okay, now moving on to another thing that I wanted to show you quickly was the ability to, you have the ability to create programs from scratch also. And this can be, you create a brand new program, or you can create a program by selecting from an existing program. So when you come to this create existing program, you will have a list of all the programs that you have existing, and you can select one and you can create from by copying from that program, and then you can edit as needed. So this was the DPA provider experience. Now moving on to the lender experience. And this is when you log in as a loan officer. This is the landing page that the loan officer sees.
Sandeep,
yes,
may I just very one quick, just to cap up the DPA provider experience. As you saw, our goal there with the DPA provider experience, and we continue to iterate on getting feedback. One thing Scott mentioned is our goal is to make it as seamless and as easy for you. We know that for the most part, you're all understaffed, overworked, under-resourced. So we really keep that in mind. And our goal here is to make this as easy and as intuitive as possible for you all. Also, as you saw, Sandeep mentioned, you have the ability to export from Excel to your own Excel or CSV. We are working in future iterations in a roadmap for have the ability to enable you to be able to export from here to your website. So you'd be able to make updates here that could reflect back in your website. Our goal is to minimize the amount of touch points. We don't expect to be getting it right from the beginning, but what we are committed is to continue to learn from you as you use it and to continue to improve the experience to make it as seamless as possible and as fast as possible for you. With that, let me turn it back over to Sandeep, who's going to go to the lender experience. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you, Erwin. And that's a really, really big point for us, making this a easy experience for you. And that's why we have the data analysts already have this information in the DPA1. You come in, you update it. And I know Scott is going to go through this, some of it at the end, but if you need more demos, if you want us to walk you through your program, we're going to be more than happy to do this and help you get into the platform, get it easy for you to adopt DPA1. So now, what are we giving the lender or the loan officer, what is the value proposition for them? And the programs that you're updating, the programs you're maintaining, that goes in front of the loan officer, and that helps their borrower find a down payment assistance program for them. So if I'm a loan officer and a borrower comes to me and he's looking for a program in, say, Florida, I'll put the state of Florida. County and city are optional. I don't need to populate it. If they know the county and city, we can populate it. We can leave it as it is. Then there is the field of purchase price where you have fixed or range. If my borrower knows exactly what they're looking for, I can leave it as fixed. Otherwise, I can put a range. So my borrower says, I'm not sure what I can afford, and I'm going to put a range here. Then I have the financial information section, which is where we have the annual household income, which is, again, we've made it really easy for the loan officer and the borrower to understand what this is. So we've given them the description in this I field, I icon, where they can click. This is all the people ages 18 or older who are expected to live in that residence. And this, I can put it as 50,000. And then the qualifying income, again, this is all the people who are going to be on the final uniform residential loan application. That's going to be 45,000. Then you have the credit score. This is if I have a co-borrower, the DPA providers are looking for the lower of the two credit scores. I'm going to say, okay, 670. And then the borrower's contribution. This is if the program needs a borrower contribution, they can put, okay, the borrower says I can put down $500. And then we have the additional information section. And this is where they can tell if they're a first-time home buyer or they're not a first-time home buyer. And then the number of occupants, because as you all know, some programs are specifically for a certain number of occupants. So I say 3 here, and that's it. And they can search for all the matching programs. And these are all the programs that you all are going to be entering. And we're going to be showing them all these programs. They have the criteria here. They can go back and update the criteria if they wish to do so. And they can come back again, and based on their changed criteria, the number of programs are going to change. Now, we have given them the ability to create compare up to 3 programs. So if I'm a borrower, I'm interested first, second, and this 4th program, I have the ability to compare these side by side. And then I can also, the loan officer can highlight the differences between the 3 programs, so they can see exactly what is the difference between the 3 programs. They can send this as a PDF attachment to the borrower if they're interested. This can be sent as a PDF attachment to a co-loan officer if they want to share it with somebody. And it can be downloaded as a PDF also, and they can keep it on their desktop. Then we have also given them the ability to hover over it and becomes a hyperlink, and you can go into this program. And this is what you had updated. This is where you see all of the program information section. So the overview as you had updated will show up here. Participating lender section shows up in this form for the loan officers. Then you have the eligibility requirements where you show the state, the first-time home buyer requirement, the DPA borrower contribution requirement, and then the 3 grids that we updated, all of them show up here. And then they also have the ability to export it as an Excel or CSV. And then, as I said, this program has the non-target target areas, so we have it broken down by that. Otherwise, it will not have this header, and there will be only 1 grid here. Then you have the credit score grid, which again shows you the first mortgage product, first mortgage type, minimum credit score, maximum DTI, LTV, TLTV, and property type restrictions. And then the maximum home purchase price table has the similar layout as you saw there. Here also you'll see the maximum home purchase price and property type information. And then at the bottom, as we saw in the DPA provider side, you have the program features. It tells you if it's a loan or a grant, maximum lien position, and then if there is any home buyer education requirement for the program, and if there are any eligible home buyer education providers, they will be listed here. And then at the bottom, you have the provider information, which will again have your website, the contact person, the phone number, and their email address. So that's what the loan officers see. And then we've also given them the ability to contact or email the DPA provider if they wish to do so. And then share, this is again, they have the ability to get a PDF, and this can be sent to the borrower. So if the borrower says, I'm interested in this program, I want to take a look at it, and I can come back tomorrow and talk to you about it, the loan officer can put the borrower's email address and it'll go to the borrower's email. And then again, they can download it as a PDF and save it on their desktop. So those are all, that's the loan officer side. And then the all programs page shows us all the programs that are in DPA1. So we have 391 programs. You can sort it by provider. You can filter by program name. You can filter by state. So if I want to look for only programs in the state of Texas, it'll show me, okay, if there are 49 programs in the state of Texas. So that's the loan officer side of DPA1. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, Scott. Oh, you're on mute.
I knew that. I was just testing you. No, thank you, Sandeep. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry we didn't have any questions because there's going to be a quiz at the end. So we hope we can get the questions in now. But no, thank you. I hope you can see the beauty of this program. It really is designed to simplify the solution, the DPA programs for both the provider side as well as the loan officer and lending officer side, and ultimately for the end user, the first time, typically can be a first time home buyer. If there are any questions, you can certainly email me after this solution. I'm going to be emailing all of you. And if you want to, would you like to have a private session? We can certainly do that. More than that, as Sandeep pointed out, we can set up a private demo for you, a one-on-one session. Again, it is a free program. Minnesota is one of the first states we're rolling this out to, and we're focusing on Minnesota. So we appreciate Brooke from the Minnesota Home Ownership Center and all of her support on this. But if there are any questions, Brooke will be making the recording available to all the people in her association that were invited or showed up. So again, thank you so much for your time, and we hope we can look forward to you joining us soon. And I'm sorry, just one more thing. I hope you see the ease of this solution. It's going to be very easy. The only thing we ask you is that you maintain it, because obviously the data in is only as good, the data available is only as good as we maintain it. Because as new programs come into play, or your funds run out of money and you have to archive something, very simple to do. All you have to do is come to me or whomever is the provider from our side and say, look, I need to archive this program. We can do it for you, or you can do it yourself, because we're going to give you login and a password. And the only thing else we need is accepting that SurveyMonkey, and then we need your EIN. That's it. It's very simple. We couldn't make it much more simple. Any last words, Sandeep?
Yeah, just one thing here. When you get access to DPA1, you can have as many people from your agency. We'll give you access to everybody you want. There will be one person who will have admin authority, and we are going to launch the feature where the person who has the admin authority can add new users. So it'll be easy for you to add people. If somebody moves out, you can remove that person from DPA1 also. So as Scott mentioned, this is your platform. We want to make it really, really easy for you to come in, update your programs, and then we are making it easy for you to take this information, put it in your website, keep it on your dashboard, wherever you need it. So please join DPA1 and let us know your feedback, because it's crucial for us to see what you like and don't like in DPA1. So thank you for your time.